Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Please smash that subscribe button. It's helped the channel grow so much over the past, since we started. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out on Reddit as well. And don't forget, leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
Let's get right into it. We have CFL Talk, some NHL Talk, some Winnipeg Jets Talk, brought to you by Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Did I say NFL already?
Yep.
Well, we got some of that. So let's start off with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Big game. Well, supposed to be a big game. Before we start with the Bombers, let's just get this out of the way with the CFL schedule makers. Like, if you could leave a voice message for them, what would you say?
What the F are you doing? Basically, in those terms, because it's just like, I got it. Maybe they were thinking, okay, later in the season, this is a big matchup. This is a big matchup for, I don't know, first overall, which really doesn't mean a lot in the CFL anyways. But yeah, this is a game, and a few people have mentioned it in our comments and stuff like that. This is a game that needs to be in week 1, no matter what, a rematch. And there's only 9 teams. It's easy to set up this rematch. So yeah, the league messed up on this one, and they messed up bad because there's nothing for the Argos to play for, and I don't blame them at all for resting guys. They got to go through a month now of this, and they're going to rest guys here and there. There's nothing for them to gain by winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And people are online like defending it. It's like, why are people getting so upset? The Bombers is like an X on the bingo card, which it's not. But still, you want to see the best matchup ever. You want to see that Grey Cup rematch. You want a little redemption. And this should happen earlier in the year. If not week 1, then week 2. Because do you really, honestly, CFL fans, do you believe going into this season that Winnipeg and Toronto and BC weren't the top 3 teams?
Yeah,
that rotation should have been done within the first month of the year,
and they should have played each other twice, a home game and an away game. Right now, Toronto's only playing Winnipeg and BC once each. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas BC, Winnipeg are playing each other 3 times, and then Winnipeg, Toronto once. It doesn't make sense. The schedule doesn't make sense. Plus, you don't have Harris finally getting to come back and play a game here, because this is probably his last season, right? Here, even said that before the season started. So at this point now, he's not playing a game in Winnipeg, against the Bombers since being here. So that's another unfortunate situation as well, because man, that crowd would have gave that guy an ovation as well. Like we've done for many, Bombers or Jets that have left Winnipeg, kind of thing, right? So disappointing. They dropped the ball, and hopefully they learn from this one.
Lost opportunity for ratings, lost opportunity for gaining momentum in Toronto. If that was a home game earlier on when they were raising the banner and they had the Grey Cup rematch, it's nonsense. Do your job. Give the fans what they want.
And the thing is, it's not new. You saw the Bombers clinch very early last year as well, right?
Yes.
So what can happen, and it happened again, especially knowing that the East wasn't very strong. I know the East is probably better than the West right now, but they're still against the Argos. None of them have been able to match up very well.
Stupidness. So let's talk about the Bombers and the Argos. Like I said, this is not an easy win. The Bombers are playing 600 ball against the East. And keep in mind, yes, it's a smaller sample size, but they've lost against Hamilton and Ottawa. Thanks for the reminder, Doug Brown, about unknown quarterbacks that you don't have film on, because we're doing it again against Cameron Dukes.
Yeah.
Who is Cameron Dukes?
I don't know. And the Bombers too as well. They're 2-2 in their last 4, so they haven't been playing good football. AJ Ouellette is actually playing in this game, so that'll be something to look at. At least they have that. But yeah, Cameron Dukes. I don't know. He's thrown 15 passes in the CFL, 8 of 15 in the one game against Calgary there when Kelly got hurt. 63 yards and an interception. That's basically all I know. Had a decent college career at the level of college that he played at. I don't think it was the highest of levels. So good college career. We'll see what he can transform to in the CFL, but this will be a tough game for him, having no really experience at all.
He's a legit dual threat quarterback.
Oh, perfect.
He passed for over 5,000 guys. Yeah, he passed for over 5,000 yards. His accuracy was a little sus back in college. He played a little bit of indoor football league, but he also ran for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
The guy has been a leader on his team. Everyone has been vouching for that. And he was like a finalist for this William V. Campbell Trophy. It's known as the Academic Heisman. And he was nominated the same year as Aiden Hutchinson on Detroit. They're playing tonight, that great defensive end. And former winners were Justin Herbert, Tim Tebow, Alex Mack, Chad Pennington, and Peyton Manning. So that's no joke when you're being considered for an award like that, for sure. So athletically, he's there. He can definitely read, but it's about the speed of the game.
Yeah.
If the Bombers bring that noise, especially with the Jeff Coat back in the game, they can maybe control that guy a little bit. We'll see. They can't sleep on this dude.
No, and I don't think they will, especially coming off that Hamilton loss. You got a full crowd. It's another sellout at IG Field, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be loud and bringing it, and it's going to be pretty much all Bomber fans in that stadium. So it'll be tough on the guy on Dukes in that sense. And then you got that ferocious front coming at him, and I think Jefferson too. There's a lot of talk of him last game, no stats, no nothing kind of thing. So he's probably been seeing that and hearing that, and he's going to be ready and raring to go in this one. And same with Jeffco.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you mentioned, or you little Bombers against running quarterbacks, it's tough. And they're going to tell this guy, if you don't see the first read or the second read quickly, just go.
Yeah.
Use your athletic ability. So they got to be on point. Maybe Brandon Alexander's got to be of a spy sometimes. If he's going to take off, then he's going to take off. You don't have to worry about the long ball maybe as much with him, not knowing as much as the offense. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and then if he is kind of a runner, you could throw him in as the the run pass option kind of plays with him and Ouellette, right? And then see what's there. And Ouellette's a very good running back as well. And the Bombers did not have the best of games against the Hamilton Ticats in the run game last time. So Toronto needs to look for any advantage and help their young quarterback out here. It's going to be a lot in the run game. The Elks even showed the Bombers were susceptible, nice word, to the run game as well. So we'll see where the Bombers D is at in that.
Chad Kelly's getting snaps, apparently.
But they're listing him as the third stringer in this one, I believe, too. So
said he was getting snaps.
Yeah, I can't see it, especially if the game gets out of hand or something like that. I don't know. What's the point? You're gonna throw him in there cold, and then for sure he's gonna get hurt.
Oh my goodness! Imagine worst decision.
Yeah, and then you got to have Cameron Dukes lead you to the Grey Cup.
What matchups are you looking forward to in this game? You go first.
Javon Leake versus the Bombers coverage team. Not that I'm necessarily, I guess, looking forward to it. I'm a little worried about it, but I want to see how the coverage team. Theodric Hansen is back. I know one guy is not going to fix that coverage team, but I want to see how they can handle a guy like that and with Leake's speed.
Number one punt return yards, number one punt return average, number one touchdown kickoff with 4. They got to and he's going to give them automatic field position on a bad return.
For sure.
On a bad return. So they really got to pick up their game with him. One matchup I'm really looking forward to, is the left side of that Bombers offensive line against the right side of the Argos defensive line, specifically Stanley Bryant, Jeff Gray, and I will throw Chris Kolinkowski, the center, in there as well. If they can use that running game to really slow down Folarin, Orimolade, wrong again. If they can, because he has 9 sacks on the year, he's going to be a factor. Hey, you're the one who just messed up susceptible.
I know.
So on the pass rush, they have to take advantage, of missing the guy behind him with Winton McManus, because he's sitting down with an ankle injury, and he's a crazy good linebacker. Dude can pass rush, dude can drop back in coverage, and I think he's the number 2 tackler on the team. So if they can really wear this right side of the Toronto Argo defense down, especially with Brady Oliveira, and beat him up, then that'll give Collaros a little more time in the passing game. Maybe the play option will open up. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup, especially because McManus is hurt. Not that I want to see a guy hurt, especially such a great player, but for the Bombers' advantage, that's a matchup I want to see.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to how the Bomber front 7 can handle this Argo run game, which has been pretty good so far this season as well. And like we had talked about with Dukes, now another factor in, and possibly just because his throwing probably won't be as good in this first game, and his reading of the defense. So they might lean on him running or Ouellette running a lot. So I want to see how that front 7 bounces back from that game against Hamilton, and see if they can shut down this run game and that big back in Ouellette.
Yeah, and I'll be at the game, and I'm cheering for the Bombers, but I will not say this running back's name properly, so I won't even try. The Canadian running back for Toronto, IA, whatever the rest of it. I can't wait to see him get some snaps as well. Any other matchups that you're looking forward to in the game?
Yeah, Yeah, the Argos tackles against our pass rush. We said Jefferson no stats last game, so he's going to be all over that. So I want to see how those tackles are going to handle Jeffcoat and Jefferson, who are going to be raring and ready to go in this game and show that, hey, we still got it. The last game was a bump in the road kind of thing, and so let's get at it. So Jefferson, he's going to be a beast out there. I expect him to be a beast. See if these Argos tackles can handle it.
Yeah, that was my issue last game too without Jeffcoat. It really exposed not anything about Willie Jefferson, but that middle is not causing enough chaos in there. So, Walker and Jake Thomas, hopefully they have a huge game. Just plug up that middle, let Jefferson and Jeffcoat. Of course, with Jeffcoat gone, that means they can concentrate on the middle more, shift over to Jefferson more. So I get that as well. But hopefully, Ricky Walker especially can cause some shit cause some stuff in the middle of the line. What are the matchups you looking forward to?
No, that's basically it. Like those ones that you mentioned, even the bomber or the run game, Oliveira against that front seven for the Argos, which has been fairly well, defensively. Their weak spot kind of is their DBs right now. There's a lot of injuries back there, but yeah, to see if Oliveira can pick up too, where he kind of left off before that Hamilton game.
Is Jamal Parker not playing?
No, he's out.
Holy
They put him on the 1 game injured groin.
Okay.
So yeah, and same with McManus, they put him on the 1 game injured. So
and aren't they sitting Sean Oakman as well? Are you kidding me?
Healthy scratch there. So
thank you again, CFL schedule makers. Who's in line to have a big day for the Bombers? I've said him before, and I'll say it again. Nick Dembski, especially this game, they need to use him early to get the ground game going. Yeah, I said that right. The ground game, and not just giving him the ball, but using those jet sweeps as a play action. Making sure that front seven, like you say, with that huge matchup, that they're kind of unbalanced. They can't set their feet because there's so much motion and movement. And I think Nick Dembski, he's the man for that. The Canadian Swiss Army knife, So I think he's in line for a big day. And of course, he's a great receiver.
Yeah, for sure. And like we just talked about, the Argos DBs aren't the best. And that's why I'm going also, including Dembski, I'm going with the Bombers receivers and Zach Collaros, because the Argos have given up. They're in the bottom half of the league in defending the pass. And they've given up a lot of yards through the air. So I expect the Bombers to kind of go that way and attack that when they have the opportunity to, and use these receivers that you have to open up this game. And Claros is going to want to bounce back from that 3 interception game last time as well, right? And it's been 2 weeks for him to think about it and get ready for it. He'll want to have a bounce back game, and I fully expect him. He's usually pretty good after having a game like that. So, and the Bombers after a bye, they're always good after a bye.
You mentioned Toronto giving up a lot of passing yards. Let's keep in mind they're also 11-1, 12-1,
12-1.
And they've been ahead in a lot of games. So a lot of teams are just ripping up passes at the end of the game. So they're one of those, same as the Bombers, right? Same as last year. They've always had those high passing yards against, but it's because they've been ahead. And teams have had to just chuck.
Start playing prevent.
Prevent from winning. Who's going to have a big game for Toronto?
We talked about him, Javon Leake. As much as I want to see that Bomber coverage team stop this guy, I don't think they are. And like you said, even if he doesn't score, he's going to put Toronto in close to or instant scoring range, field goal range at least, kind of thing. We saw it with Alford, man. He was getting the riders to the 40 to the 50, right? Leake's going to end up doing the same. By the time the Bombers get downfield, Leake's already going to be at the 40.
And that's good for the young quarterback as well.
Yeah.
To start with a shorter field.
Yeah, and they got a great kicker there, right? So Beatty, he doesn't need a lot, right? Yeah, he can be hitting those from just inside the 50 or whatever. So
yeah, I have Javon Leake as well. Javon Leake. You know what? And going back to that matchup with the left side, right side, I know I said I give up on this, but the Bombers have given up on that heavy set with the tight end almost all the time now. Like, why aren't they using it? Why aren't they using it? It's successful, especially against a team like Toronto. They need to establish a running game. Like, I don't understand. If anyone in Bomber Nation knows why they don't use the heavy set, please explain it to me.
Saving it for the playoffs.
Well, they didn't use it in the Grey Cup last year. They used it in the West Final a little bit, and when they got momentum halfway through the season, and then what?
This offense has been inconsistent again this year, right? We expected better from them this year after last year being up and down, and so far again, they're world beaters 1 week. They can't get it done the next. Carlos is throwing more interceptions than normal. So
yeah,
but they're still scoring a lot of points. So I don't know.
Bombers have a home game against the Toronto Argos, and they're sitting their starting quarterback, and we are still visibly concerned. CFL Talk, critical questions. I'll start with the West. BC Lions. Can the BC Lions win 4 games in a row for the first time this year? They've hit that 3 game in a row mark a couple times. Can they do it? I don't know. I think last time Saskatchewan, they played Saskatchewan, they lost to Saskatchewan. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll tell you in the predictions what's going to happen, or what I think will happen.
Although Saskatchewan is reeling right now and
hard.
They're lucky Calgary is terrible and Edmonton did not start forward. So
yeah.
Speaking of, let's go Toronto here. What do the Argos do for over a month? I mean, we're seeing it already. They rested guys last week. They're resting different guys this week. They're going to do that over the next month, and it's not going to help, I don't think, their attendance as well. Because why are people going to go watch games when half the starters and their superstar players are not playing? Yeah, this won't help their home field as well. So hopefully they get through it unscathed and they're good for the playoffs. But it's going to be a rough month for Argo fans, and a lot of people are looking at it going, oh, that's going to be an easy win. I don't necessarily think it's still going to be an easy win because they still got a good team and they can't rest everybody, you know, like easy win for everybody, not just the Bombers kind of thing. But you know, hopefully no one ends up getting hurt and they get through it.
Edmonton, will the Elks get their hands on Zach Wilson? Over at Bovada Sports, the Edmonton Elks are favored. Of course, what has to happen is he has to be released and then signed. But I just think that's funny. And they have a bye. So we're not talking about, they have a bye, right? That would suck if they're actually playing something. They wasted that. No,
they're on a bye.
There we go. Let's have fun. Will Zach Wilson end up in Edmonton? I don't know. We'll see.
That was funny when I read that. I'm like, what?
I should put $200 on that.
Yeah,
go 200 on that, fans. If you win, you gotta share some of that with me. Go ahead.
Hamilton, can they end up hosting the East semifinal? Looking at their schedule, they got Stamps, Sask, BC, and the Owls. A little bit tough compared to what Montreal has with Ottawa back-to-back, and then the Elks and then Hamilton as well. I think they'll be in the mix. They don't play a team with a winning. They do play BC, who will have something to play for. So might be a little bit tough. I don't see them ending up hosting that East semi, but I definitely see them playing in it. Obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. There's no way. Well, there's a way, but there's still no way.
Yeah.
Calgary, when is Dave Dickinson going to take control of this team? It's like he's just passively sitting there watching. You have this guy now, Micah Awe, getting not suspended, actually, fined for a fourth time,
and then fifth going back to last year, I think, right?
There you go. Like, there is no image, character, culture in this team. And I said this earlier in the year. With Derek Dennis gone and with BLM gone, there might be a lack of character and whatever. And it's true. They miss Bone Crusher. Like, they're a rudderless ship.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Yeah, and they're probably missing the playoffs. I don't see them having a successful end to this season at all. Montreal, can they live up to their potential? I keep hearing Montreal is one of the better teams in the league, and the record shows that they've beaten all the worst teams, kind of thing. But and I've heard this from other people as well, and saying, hey, Montreal's got a good team. They just can't get it done. Will they figure that out? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. With Jason Moss at the helm, not a bad coach, not terrible, but he can't seem to fix things with Fajardo, that O-line. They don't have a tough schedule to end, so they'll probably finish second in that East Division, but I don't know if they'll ever, or not ever, but I don't think they'll end up beating Toronto or get anywhere close to that Grey Cup.
Mathematically, they're one of the better teams. Who are these people who are saying they are a good team? Who are these people?
Hey, I got to keep my sources to myself.
Oh, yeah, well. Saskatchewan, will Dolagala finish the season as starter, or will Mason Fine get another shot? I don't know. Doesn't the other Dickinson really love Fine?
I don't know, man. If Dolagala again loses again to BC and Fine comes back at some point, maybe. But right now, I think you just stick with Dolagala, right? Because who knows?
Common sense.
Who knows if Harris is going to come back this season at all, and how he will be a year older next year, right? So you need to see what Dolgala can bring to the table, and if he's going to be your starter going forth. So
I would just stick with this 5 games in a row now?
Yeah.
5 games in a row. If he doesn't got it by 5, I say why not entertain Brink Fine? Because you're going for the playoffs. If he lose again and he's not, and the offense doesn't go, I think he might have to think about it. You're going for the playoffs here.
For Saskatchewan right now, it's that defense is just holes all over the place, right? I mean, teams have run all over them that it doesn't matter what Dolgala does. That defense can't stop anyone, even against Ottawa last week. They were doing okay. And then
without a doubt. So, well, I'm not going to stick with him no matter what, though. You got training camp next year in the offseason.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just saying, sucking, switch him.
But Fine never did anything in any of the games he played. He didn't look anywhere close to what Dolgala has in Dolgala's better games. You know,
how many games have they lost in a row now?
Oh, they've lost 3, 2. No, Banjo Bowl, and then what have they played after that? One after.
All losses.
Right?
Yeah, they got them. Yeah. Who else you got?
Speaking of Ottawa, will their season end with a run to the playoffs? They got the Owls twice, and then the Argos, who were probably resting a lot of players twice. Yeah. And I'll kind of answer this probably in my predictions. It's going to be tough. It would be nice to see them make a run for Bobby Dice and for Ottawa and the fans in Ottawa. So we'll see, but I'll let you know in a second what I think.
Oh, I think you can tell by my face. Winnipeg Blue Bombers is their Achilles heels. Young, unknown QBs. We'll also find out in quick and dirty predictions. Let's go to quick and dirty predictions. Argos, Bombers. Who do you got?
Just because everyone's resting from the Argos, I'm going to take Winnipeg. If Kelly was playing and Olette and all the receivers and defensive guys, I'd probably lean the other way. But right now, I'm going to take the Bombers just because the Argos are resting a bunch of guys.
Yeah, Bombers at home. Too much at stake. Too big a stage for the young QB, I think. Riders at Lions. Lions want to clinch a home playoff game. Dominic Rhymes is back again. And I just can't bet on Saskatchewan, especially in BC play. So I'm going to take the Lions.
Yeah, and Lacombo is back as well for BC. So it's Saskatchewan, we were just talking about their D. They're allowing 30.4 points per game. BC's offense is pretty good. So I'm going to go with BC as well as in this one.
Owls, Red Blacks, who do you got?
Well, speaking of the Red Blacks, if they can make a run, I'm going to say no. Unfortunately, I'm going to pick the Owls in this game. And that's going to shove the dagger in the Red Blacks playoff hopes a little bit more. As much as I'd like to see Bobby Dice make a run, I think the Owls are still the best of the worst teams.
Yeah, I don't see how I can pick Ottawa. Montreal. Stamps and Ticats. Stamps, they got their hearts pretty much stomped out of them last week. And also the Ticats look bad, but against the Argos. So I'll take Milanovic and the Tabbies at home.
Yeah, Hamilton winners 3 of 5, and Calgary's only won 1 in 6. I'm going to go with Hamilton as well. Do you think it? I mean, there's a chance, obviously, mathematically, but would it be crazy if an East team like Ottawa made it to the West playoffs, passing Saskatchewan? You think there's there's a possibility? You think they can do it? They're only 2 games behind. Yeah, Ottawa catching Saskatchewan.
No.
Yeah.
They have shown nothing to me in the past few weeks where that I believe in that situation.
I don't believe in Saskatchewan at all winning any more games this season either, though.
I believe in Saskatchewan more than I do Ottawa. Let's move on to some Winnipeg Jets talk, brought to you by Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Stand out on the ice, pavement, or on the field with a custom airbrushed helmet or goalie mask. A local Manitoba business with affordable solutions for any project. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431. Tell them Ray and Benny sent you. Who will be the 13th forward on the Jets?
Well, I mean, you got your usual guys, right? There's David Gustafson, who was drafted in the second round a few years ago, who can't seem to crack this lineup at all, but he's a center. So I could see him being that guy. And then you got your regular guys like Falalbi, Harkins, Toninato, and all that. But there's a new guy on the scene, apparently. This Parker Ford, who's made quite the impression so far in the Jets Young Stars tournament and in these exhibition games. A couple points last night in the game against Calgary. Even Bonus is coming out and talking about him, saying he's made a good impression. Spunky little guy. He's out there. He's on the puck, and he's got confidence with the puck. So he was an undrafted college free agent signed by the Jets last offseason, I believe. So I'm looking at him. Maybe he's the option there, but I could see them sending him down because I think at this point, Gustafson would be not waiver exempt. So maybe Parker Ford ends up going back with the Moose, and I'm going to call David Gustafson as the 13th guy.
New coach, new team, new captain, new culture. Parker Ford's playing crazy good. Like you said, the grit, he has the hustle, like Bonus says. It's time to just drop Appleton to 13 and let the kid play. He's playing better than Appleton. Appleton's hurt. I understand that, but he didn't have a very good end of the season last year. He's not having a strong preseason. Again, injuries are lurking. So at the beginning of the season, why not give him a chance? So Mason Appleton as 13th, I'll say.
Yeah, if Appleton or any guy is out, I would definitely give this guy a chance. And then you got Gustafson still as your 13th guy or whatever, but you're letting other guys play in.
Not out. No, not out.
Yeah,
take Appleton to 13th as what I'm saying.
Oh,
that's who I think. He will be 13th. Let Parker play right away.
They're not going to do that.
Why not?
Why not give him a shot? It's just the Jets, man. I know.
That's why I said different culture, different coach, different room. We'll see.
I wish. I've been wanting for years to get certain guys to get shots, and they just never do it. I would love to see Parker Ford make this lineup and see what he can do in regular season games.
Hey, Nola.
Yeah. Not even just Nola. I mean, that's the thing, though. You got this guy like Gustafson. He's never really gotten a shot. I know he's been injured quite a bit here and there, but you drafted this guy in the second round, right? He's got to get an opportunity to show what he can do. At this point, I guess he's just going to be a hanger-on, like Logan Stanley kind of thing. So for a team that's drafting and developed, they're not doing a good job at it.
Yeah. Parker was an undrafted. Undrafted free agent. You talk about Logan Stanley. Early shout out. We're not doing shout outs this week. Shout out to him for standing up for Cole Perfetti after he got smoked on that bullshit hit. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a joke. There was no need for it. Again, you're hitting a guy from the side behind who's not even anywhere near the puck. And not expecting it because he can't even see you coming. He's just skating up the ice. And he caught him pretty good. And this is not the first time this Martin Pospisil has hit Perfetti. He did it as well when Perfetti was still with the Moose, and a very questionable hit there as well. So I don't know what this guy has in for Perfetti, but it sucks for Perfetti not only, and apparently it's not in concussion protocol. No. So that's good news. But for a guy that's faced a lot of injuries, this is the stuff that he does not need at all. Not that any player needs it, but to me, it's a joke. It doesn't make sense. Why is this hit needed? Especially it's preseason. Yeah. Not anywhere, but preseason, man.
That's the thing. Is this Pospisil guy a lock?
No, I've never even heard of his name before.
That's the thing. He's trying to be seen, and that's why he's trying to do all this BS garbage. And, it's the same guy who went after Stone. It was a fine hit. It was a legal hit.
I have no problem with that hit.
But it was unnecessary. And it was totally the guy just being disrespectful and trying to smoke the guy so whatever, he can be seen. And you know what? I get it. You're trying to get seen. You're trying to get on the roster. But they don't need to take liberties on players in the preseason. Like, y'all should take care of each other. But we know in hockey they don't.
But to me, that hit on Stone, I mean, the guy's trying to show that, hey, I can throw these hits and be an impact on the game. It's an unfortunate thing is a guy like Stone, who's been around a long time. But if that was on any other guy, everyone would be like, hey, this is great. Stone didn't like it. Unfortunate, but I guess don't play in the preseason games if you don't want to get hit. So
I guess you could say the same thing about Perfetti, though.
But I could be okay
because
with
that. That's another big minute guy, though. And that's the thing I'm saying. It's these big minute guys that are being targeted by no-name guys.
But if Perfetti took a nice clean hit, I'm not going to argue anything. I'm going to be like, hey, it sucks. It's part of the game. But he took a clean hit. This was disgusting from behind and everything. The Stone one was straight at the guy. I know he was a little bit away from the board, so that probably made it worse as well. But I have no issue with that.
He took his liberties. I have an issue with that. He took his liberties on a veteran during the preseason. That's not necessary. That's like a rookie on a defensive line, just going a little bit inching on a quarterback in the preseason just because he's getting the first couple snaps. I just think it's unnecessary. It's true. Jets are selling those, game packs, 3, 5, whatever, how much. If you can choose a 3, which 3 would you choose? Give us your first one.
I would go with the Blackhawks just so I could see Connor Bedard. Not necessarily that I think the Blackhawks would be a good game or a good team or anything at this point, but just to see Connor Bedard.
Is he for sure going to make the big club? I'm going
to take the October. Imagine if he didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. It's like Sidney Crosby being sent down. October 17th. I'm going to take the return of PLD. I always like those drama matches. I like the vibe of those games. So I think he'll get a little bit of hate, but if he plays good, I think the Jets will be like, whatever. Or Jets fans will be like, I don't, or maybe they will, you know what? They'll probably boo him every time he touches the puck. So either way, it's going to be fun. What's your second game?
Yeah, they will boo him. Then they will cheer him when they do the video board tribute. And then they'll go right back to booing him.
Well, what? What are you going to put on that video board tribute for this dude?
Well, they're gonna do it. It's not that they're not gonna do it. They always do it for everybody, right? They'll have one for Wheeler too. So
whoa, that's different.
Oh, for sure,
That's
but
different. What's your second game?
Let's go with the Oilers. I know they play them twice at home this year, so either one really. Always a fun game watching McDavid and these two teams. The rivalry is getting bigger and bigger with these two teams lately, with some playoff matchups and all that kind of stuff, Canadian matchups. So I'd like to see that one again. I know McDavid always has fun playing the Jets. So does Hellebuck usually. Having fun playing the Oilers, not the Jets.
His box office. I have March 26th for the Edmonton Oilers because my boy Evander Kane is coming to town. Never mind Connor McDavid. My other match I'm going to take is October 30th, Halloween. I'm going to see the return of Blake Wheeler. I'm going to go there with all the respect in the world, cheer for him. I'll probably dress like Blake Wheeler for Halloween. No, I'm not going to put white face, you fools.
Whoa.
It's true, man. I'm just putting it out there. You going to do white face so you can be Blake Wheeler? Shut up. Of course not, idiot. But I'll go with all the respect in the world to see Blake Wheeler on October 30th. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, Jets 2.0 player to this point.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one as well. That would be my other game this year that I would like to go see. And for the same reasons as you, tribute for Wheeler, celebrate Wheeler, applaud him. Hope the Rangers lose and all that, but celebrate Wheeler and Wheeler's time here.
He's so good. And I know I was hard on that guy for the past couple of years, as well as other fans, but all respect again in the world. He was amazing. Jets fans, put your thoughts below in the comment section. NHL talk. Does the recent incident in Columbus end Babcock's Hall of Fame chances?
Yes. And I'm looking at his career and I'm like, would he be in the Hall of Fame anyways? He only ended up winning one cup. I know he made two. One was on the back of J.S. Jaguar and that Anaheim team, like just lights out hockey. I know I guess the two gold medals he ended up winning with Canada would probably push him to that as well, but he had some stacked teams there. He had good teams in Detroit and he won a cup, only one. He lost another one, and then he couldn't get past the first or second round. With Toronto, he couldn't even get them past the first round. And now he has this hanging over his head. I don't think he gets in. I wasn't sure if he would get in before. Probably the two gold cups would have pushed him. But yeah, they should not be allowing him in at this point.
For sure he's in. With his resume, for sure he's in, but no one's going to vote his ass in because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a lot of players who, in a lot of leagues, who took a while to get in because they weren't nice to the media or they didn't talk to the media nicely. Like Terrell Owens, for example. So if you're going to do that to a player, you definitely got to keep this guy out for a very long time, if anything, forever, for what he's done.
There are going to be a couple of fools who are going to vote for this guy for sure.
For sure, man. For sure.
Losers. Let's go to some NFL talk. Are the Dolphins a team to beat and why? You can go first.
I'm going to, as a Niner fan and watching how good they started off, I'm going to say yes to this question. That offense right now is out of this world. It is dynamic. I mean, they just hung up 70 on the Broncos and probably could put more. And Mike McDaniel seems like a type of guy that he's not satisfied where that offense would be and allow teams to learn what it is. He won't stick to that. He'll keep moving it and changing it and doing different plays. Right now, Tua is playing great if he can stay healthy. He's getting the ball into his playmakers' hands, and that offense is moving. Defense still a little bit suspect. They got a very good defensive coach in Vic Fangio. But yeah, they look like the team to beat for me.
I think they're a dangerous team. They're clearly on the top of a lot of people's power rankings, but I'm old school. I'm Ric Flair. To be the man, you have to beat the man. And I think the team to beat still is Kansas City. Like if I'm starting a new franchise, I'm probably going to still take Andy Reid as head coach. I'm probably going to still take Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback to start that franchise.
Yeah.
And I think they are still the standard as a Steeler fan. I don't take that term lightly, but in the NFL, I think they're the standard right now. So they're still my team to beat, but the Dolphins are crazy impressive. 70 burger. on the.
I just don't think that Kansas City offense is at the same spot right now that they used to be. Especially they've been slow. I mean, you put 40 up on the Bears, but that was the Bears. Before that, they weren't scoring very many points in their first 2 games. So I don't like their receiving core. They don't have enough guys there. You got Kelsey right now, and that's basically it. So it'd be interesting to see these 2 teams match up and those offenses go head to head. But I don't think they play each other this year.
Not until the playoffs.
They should switch or maybe they do because the Kansas City plays the Jets. Maybe they should switch that Sunday game for Kansas City and the Jets or Kansas City and Dolphins instead of Kansas City and the Jets.
That's crazy. But hey, someone's not playing. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Power 3. Who are your top 3 young QBs? Young QBs being rookies, first years, or second years. Quarterbacks drafted in the last 3 drafts. Who's one of yours?
Well, you got to go with Trevor Lawrence. To me, he's probably one of the top QBs, obviously younger guys in this league. Just growing. He's got a good coach in Doug Peterson. A little shaky start to this season so far, but he's probably at the top of the list for me.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah, he's a particular quarterback. He's in a good situation. Can't argue with that. Brock Purdy,
yep,
he wins. He's on your team, so he's one of mine.
He wins. He runs the offense the way Shanahan wants his QB to, and he doesn't get rattled. What is it? Giants blitz him over 80% last game, and he still found his guys.
Who's your third?
I'm going to go with the new guy this year, and I'm going to go with CJ Stroud right now, who's looked at so far the best out of the quarterbacks drafted in the past year. I know he's got a long way to go to prove that he's at the top echelon, but he's looking good so far on a team that wasn't supposed to be very good in Houston, and they haven't looked great so far in the win column, but he's looked good.
He's looked steady. He's putting up some numbers. I'm going to go dude who was drafted with him that year, Anthony Richardson. I just like his athleticism. He's a big quarterback. He can move. Hopefully, I don't know if the situation is perfect for him, but he just reminds me a little of Big Ben. So obviously, I'm biased with that.
I did have him here as well, but I went with Stroud instead.
That's fair. Any coaches on the hot seat?
Yeah. Sean Payton should be after that 70. I know he's not, but good God, how do you survive that? I got to go with the Chargers and Brandon Staley. I know they won last week, but this team should not be 1-2 right now. There's always so much hype for this team going into a season, and somehow he keeps blowing it. And the Vikings could have got it done. He almost blew another one on Sunday. Dude's got to stop going for a 4th down, man. I don't care what the analytics say. You do not have a good play that is working to get those 4th down conversions. Kick the ball, man. So yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat for me.
What did they do this offseason to get better?
Nothing.
Matt Eberflus is definitely on the hot seat for me. He's just a big pile of smoke and who knows what. Oh my goodness, poor Chicago, poor.
You got it. It's the Bears, man. They just go out of their way to hire weird guys sometimes, and it's just like, why? Matt Nagy even, and it's like, what? That John Fox, wasn't he there before that?
Mark Trestman.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
And they fired Lovie Smith when he was 10-6. Sorry if I'm yelling in the microphone. How stupid was that? Lovie. Benny, you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Thank you again, Fahrenheit Airbrushing, and have a good week.
And in the words of LeVar Burton, we'll see you next time.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Denny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.